Well, hey there, Nina Matei here with a Week 10 critique of the 2007 JFK International Airport bomb plot. So on August 2nd of 2010, Christine Cornell with CBS News reported that, quote, 2 men were convicted Monday of plotting to blow up fuel jet tanks at JF Kennedy International Airport, a terror plot that authorities said was meant to outdo the September 11, 2001 attacks and avenge perceived U.S. oppression of Muslims around the world, end quote. And although Abdul Qadir was acquitted on the charge of surveillance of mass transportation, the Brooklyn federal jury took 5 days to convict Russell DeFreitas and Abdul Qadir on several other conspiracy charges. So the bomb plot was discovered in the planning stages, and Valsic and Tracy in 2013 credit surveillance and quick arrests with averting destruction of airport infrastructure and surrounding neighborhoods. And although the plotters were able to identify vulnerable areas at and around JFK, I also credit the resources and programs implemented after 9/11 significantly contributed to breaking up the conspiracy. My major critique of the case study is that it was pretty short, only 2 stages, and a bit more depth and discussion could have been provided related to the transportation and airport security aspects. So Valsic and Tracy start out by telling us that we are the public safety manager of a large municipal airport. We're alerted to several men who are taking pictures at the airport, which seems pretty suspicious. Valsic and Tracy described the actions that we would include would be investigating and increasing security in areas where the suspicious activity was observed. Resources would include mobilizing security staff to secure perimeters and entries. Communication would include alerting and cooperating with Homeland Security and the FBI. I think the case study could have benefited from additional information about the role Homeland Security has played in funding critical infrastructure protection. And since the events of 9/11, transportation security and critical infrastructure assessment and protection have grown exponentially. According to the Department of Homeland Security's website, before 9/11, federal government had a limited role in cargo and baggage screenings. And in the last 14 years, almost 51,000 officers, inspectors, and behavioral observers have been added to 450 commercial airports. And that's according to the aviation security section of the website. Behind the scenes, critical infrastructure assessment and protection programs have invested heavily in security processes, facility hardening, detection systems, and diversion programs. The 2010 DHS Transportation Security Annex details 12 model risk mitigation activities for airports. These are listed on the slide in different shades of blue. These activities include vetting workers, conducting physical security assessments on the airport property, integrating mitigation practices into everyday operations, screening and awareness programs, which probably the flying public are very familiar with, training and exercises, maximizing planning and technology, and also the incorporation of cyber protection. So as the airport's public safety manager, we would be very integrated in nearly all aspects of those mitigation areas, or we would work very closely with the aviation authority for the municipality. So Valsic and Tracy explain in the second stage of the case study that one of the suspects had actually worked in air cargo and was arrested by the FBI for planning to bomb a jet fuel pipeline leading to the airport. And the actions include cooperating with the ongoing investigation, helping to free up staff for interviews, and then supporting the gathering of evidence. Resources would include inspecting areas where the suspect had worked or spent time, deploying resources to vulnerable areas. On the communication side, we would be coordinating all of our public and media communications through the Joint Information System. I think that a key layer of information and intelligence is the nation's fusion centers, and I think the case study could have described how that linkage gathers and disseminates information. The Department of Homeland Security's fusion centers which are on their website in 2015, collect, analyze, disseminate intelligence from many sources, including open sources like media and the internet, closed sources like law enforcement intelligence. This intelligence helps form a common operating picture for law enforcement, public safety, fire services, emergency response, public health, critical infrastructure, and security. Intelligence liaison officers are vetted from local and state agencies to represent specific disciplines under strict control and sharing protocols for information. So information like the JFK suspects is gathered, analyzed, and vetted. Trends and threats are selectively shared with preparedness and response sectors. And the intelligence is also reviewed for lessons learned and to improve programs and processes. The Florida Department of Law Enforcement operates the state's fusion centers within the Regional Domestic Security Task Force structure, and that's listed on the FDLE website in 2015. So here are several of the references that I used in the critique of the case study. And then on the UF website, I posted 2 other links that are related to the 2007 JFK bomb threat. And I think that they add to the mood of the event and the feelings about the conviction. So I enjoyed learning more about this particular threat that was averted, and I hope that you found it interesting as well. Thanks, and have a great day.